and welcome. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall, said Nelson Mandela. I'm Atika Farooqui and I have seen you fall and then you rise, and you have seen me fall and then me rise again. Such is the circle of life. And here we begin a new circle. This is Now Showing, where we celebrate the best in the business. And it all starts with the highlights. Bambai Meri is a binge-worthy thriller rested well on great casting, good performances, direction and authenticity. Meet up with the wow team behind Scam 2, the series that's the biggest disruptor in recent times. NH10 and Laal Kaptaan director Nadeep Singh talks about the one film that changed his life. And lyricist Anjaan talks about the evolution of Hindi in Hindi film songs. Let's begin the show with the review of Bambai Meri, the 10-episode web series produced by Excel Entertainment, that's Rakesh and Farhan Akhtar, set against the backdrop of a city transitioning from Bombay to Mumbai, delves into the world of smuggling and mafia dominance. The show features characters like Haji and Pathan and centers on Dara Qadri's journey, torn between his father's law enforcement legacy and his ambition to become Bombay ka Badshah. The show stars Kay Kay Menon and Avinash Tiwary as a pair of father and son, playing the characters of Ismail Qadri, the honest policeman and father, and Avinash Tiwary, the ambitious and rebellious Dara Qadri. The acting front of the series draws its strength from an exceptional ensemble cast. The classic Kay Kay Menon, unforgettable from Anurag Kashyap's Black Friday, where he grills the gangsters, and here he plays the father of one. Amazing performer, by the way, isn't he? Avinash Tiwary, notably Jiten Gulati, Nivedita Bhattacharya, Nawab Shah, Saurabh Sachdev, Vivan Bhatena, and gritty and gorgeous Kritka Kamra, playing the seething, competitive sister Habiba Qadri here. Every character has been portrayed with ease and perfection. The surprise package on the show is definitely Aditya Rawal's performance as Chota Babban. I must tell you that Aditya is son of actor Paresh Rawal, and his portrayal of a dreaded terrorist in Hansal Mehta's film Faraz blew my mind. He's a very good actor. This gripping period crime drama unfolds against the backdrop of the mid-1960s to the mid-1980s, with sporadic glimpses into the 1940s too. While the gangster genre is challenging to master, Bambai Meri successfully avoids glorifying its characters involved in horrendous crimes. The narrative skillfully explores alternate paths the characters could have chosen to lead different lives, justifying the battle between justice and injustice, good and evil. Credit is due to the director Shujaat Saudagar and the adaptation team of Renzel De Silva and Sameer Arora, who successfully brought former crime journalist and author S. Hussain Zaidi's stories to life, delivering a commendable result in Bambai Meri. Dialogues by Hussain Dalal and Abbas Dalal are true to the Bambai universe. What sets Bambai Meri apart from other crime dramas is its exploration of complex family relationships and the emphasis on the strained relationship between a father and his son. Additionally, the series deftly navigates the intricacies of sibling rivalry, portraying a sense of injustice felt by the elder brother Sadiq and highlighting the close bond between Dara and his feisty younger sister Habiba. The cinematography team and the team behind the production design of the series have done a commendable job. Without their exceptional vision and craft, the narrative would have lost its authenticity. Director Shujaat Saudagar, a protege of Adman Prahlad Kakkar, who has previously directed Rock On 2, handles the material and the entire star cast as a director quite well. For that reason, despite some occasional loopholes, the overall experience of the narrative never loses its charm. Shujaat creates nostalgia for those who have lived through the era, while providing a superb recall for all others familiar with screen adaptations of the same story. In conclusion, Bambai Meri is a captivating and well-executed narrative around the gangster genre, which has insightful elements of family dynamics and complex relationships. Anyone who's ready to take up a binge-worthy action crime drama, long-format narrative won't be disappointed with Bambai Meri Jaan. And now let's move on to another mind-blowing series, and that is Scam 2. Well, Scam 2 is out, and Gagan Riar as Telgi has hit it out of the park. He has been a theatre actor for 25 years. That's where the polish comes from. Sameer Nair, the man behind KBC in India, who heads Applause Entertainment, the production house behind Scam series, says human attention is the new oil. He's right. And director Tushar Hiranandani, who co-directs Scam 2 with the original king of quality content and stories, Hansal Mehta, is here. So I meet up with all of these three people. We discuss the present and the future of OTT and, of course, Scam 2. Listen in. Welcome all of you. Let me start with you, Mr. Nair. Harshad Mehta was all of 5,000 crores. Now Telgi is more than 30,000 crores.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. How big a scam store has to be to draw your attention?
Well, actually, it's not the size of the scam, it's the ingenuity of it.
Interesting.
You know, as to how interesting it is, how cleverly it was done.
Yeah.
A lot of the banking scams tend to be repetitive and they tend to be similar. It's always the same playbook. Like if you had done another banking scam straight after 92, you would have had a sense of deja vu. You know, it's almost like Harshad was the inventor of the first scam and now everyone else followed suit.
True.
So we were looking from the start for something which is quite different and which is why we zeroed in on this story.
And congratulations on this whole entire franchise. It has done a lot for Applause. I want to ask from you, how has it contributed to your brand image, the Applause's brand image and your repertoire?
When Scam 92 came out, it was our 20th show. So it was not the first we had done. But what it did do is that it definitely put us in the map. It had a great sort of a halo effect for Sony Live.
Yeah.
It had a great sort of an impact for Hansal.
Yeah.
It had wonderful things for Pratik Gandhi. And it did wonderful things for us as well.
Tell me, Gagan, what was the process? How did they spot you? What was the first call that you got from Hansal? And from there on, how did you start? You were very similar, by the way, in terms of your looks. मतलब वो आधी जंग वहीं जीत लेता है filmmaker जब वो उसकी casting सही करता है.
I think the entire process was about around like say
1 year.
2 years.
2 years.
1 year into the preparation and then 1 year of the shoot. 1 year I was asked to gain weight and be as close to how he might be looking like.
Yeah.
And then 1 full year of shoot.
I haven't seen your work before. And I've been told that you were with a couple of Meera Nice projects, Suitable Boy, several others. And everybody is asking, ye kaun hai? You know, who's this man? So we want to know your story. So apparently 25 years into theatre.
Yes.
And I heard you singing, so you're a good singer, overall an artist. Tell me briefly about the last 20 years of your life.
I started doing professional theatre in 2001 when I started working with Mr. Nirmal Pandey,
Wow.
who was the part of Bandit Queen.
Yeah, he's no more.
That was unfortunately, I mean, he was my first guru. And I did a very small role in a very reputed play called Andha Yug. After that, I started working with Yatri, Mr. Om Katare, and I worked with him for 9 years and did many plays with him. Then I thought that it's time for me to, start working with other directors and open my horizons and everything. So I started working with Mr. Sunil Shanbag. I did a play called Stories in a Song, and Shubha Mudgalji had done the music for that play. It was based on different forms of Indian music, and that's when I discovered that, oh, I can sing and I can, learn a little bit about it. Then I did a play called Piya Behrupiya, which was based on the 12th Night by Shakespeare.
Right.
And due to that, I got a chance to actually, travel the world and do the shows world over. And Piya Behrupiya actually kind of helped me to, put me on the map.
Yes, it did.
And then I got a chance to work with Mr. Abhishek Chaube on Son Chidiya. And then in Stories in a Song, Meera Nair spotted me, and she gave me the chance to work on Monsoon Wedding, the musical, which she was making at that time. And I got a chance to play the role of Mr. Nasiruddin Shah, which was played by Mr. Nasiruddin Shah in the movie.
Wow.
So I got the chance to play that. After that, she gave me the chance to work in A Suitable Boy, And I think Hansal sir spotted me there and thought of me for this role.
Wonderful.
So this is what has been my last 20 years.
That's the ingenuity of Mr. Hansal sir too. 10 years ago, it was all about who's the available hero in the top 5 who we can cast. Tushar, your entire family has been in the business.
Yeah, I'm a nepo kid. You want to say that?
No, I mean to say...
That's the only reason we picked it.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
What I mean to say, this is a very, very biographical, financial fraud, investigative thriller kind of a subject, and Hansal Mehta has already set the bar high, and you are already dealing with a genre which is a little different. So how different it is, and what are the things that you have to keep in mind?
See, first of all, Hansal sir has created such a bar, it's so high that you can't even touch it. For me, it's the best show ever. It's the best show that internationally or even Indian show is the best show. I'm the biggest fan of Scam 1. Initially, like the pressure for me was when Hansal sir told me that I'm going to be directing it and Sami sir told me I'm going to be directing it. The pressure was to go and shout out to the world that I'm directing Scam. You can't imagine how much of a pressure, and I was told not to say it. So that was the biggest pressure during COVID time. The thing is, yes, there is a lot of pressure because there are big shoes to be filled. But thanks to, like I always kept on saying in other interviews also, I'm just saying this again and again, it's thanks to Hansal sir that he held my hand throughout the
So you've co-directed?
Yeah.
So he was always on the sets?
No. Initially I started and then I had to leave, then he came in. So because I had my film going on. So the whole point was that, but yes, he held my hand throughout the shoot. He kept on taking care of all my problems.
So it's not that one episode is directed by you, the other is like we saw in Made in Heaven.
It's all mixed. It's all mixed.
It's all mixed. A couple of years ago, you had said in an interview that human attention is the new oil. And you're the man behind Kyunki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi, Kahani Ghar Ghar Ki, KBC. I loved Criminal Justice. Have you kind of, like you said, that it has to be a great story. In the last 3 to 4 years, how people have changed and the entire the industry has changed. What are people wanting to see on their phones and smart TVs?
Well, they're wanting to see good stories.
Yeah.
They're wanting to see better stories. And I think all of us, everybody in our industry, all our colleagues in the industry are all telling great stories. I think human beings in general, they love to say that human beings are storytellers.
Yeah.
But I think that some of us are storytellers. The rest of humanity are story listeners.
Yeah.
So we've got millions of people who want to listen to stories, and they've become really good story listeners.
Right.
And they can listen. They can pick a bad story very quickly and stop listening. So I suppose that's our challenge.
I'm really looking forward to it, and thank you all for getting the credibility factor back into the industry by making content that appeals to bureaucrats too, as much as it does to youth, and intellectuals too, as much as it does to any other person. So thank you and all the best.
Thank you so much.
Remember the movie NH10, where Anushka Sharma plays this gritty role? Directed by Nadeep Singh, the acclaimed director who has also directed Laal Kaptaan, says it's the 1985 Oscar-nominated movie Brazil that changed his life. It's the film which continues to inspire his films and his craft. Listen to Nadeep in conversation with my colleague Vishal Chatkara.
This is back in around 86, around that time, maybe it was late 85, I'm not exactly sure. My friends and I constantly be at the video library finding out latest film kaun si aayi, and that back in the day you watched whatever came here. Har hafte uske baad 3-4 pirated prints aate the, and we'd watch everything. So he had this movie called Brazil, never heard of it. I'd never heard of Terry Gilliam, never heard of any of those people. But I remember we took it home and both of us watched it and we were blown. We were just like, ye kya picture hai? Brazil is this set in this very dystopian future. It talks of this consumerist future, this very bureaucratic future with terrorism happening and this very authoritarian government which controls everything. The main character is this guy called Sam Lowry, who's this junior bureaucrat, and he constantly has these very surreal dreams, and there's literally this girl he sees in his dreams, and it's actually a very sappy, emotional sort of love story in the middle of all this craziness. It was very inventive. I mean, till then I'd never seen a film which was so visually inventive. It was so full of ideas. It was in fact probably too crammed with ideas that if you look back at it, because it was just stuffed with ideas. And the art direction and the production design of the film was outstanding. I mean, it was like way before the kind of CG stuff we have available today. You could see the director's imprint in everything. In fact, I put a little tribute to that in Manorama. There's a truck driver who's a witness whose truck has driven over Sarika's character, and Abhay Deol's character goes to meet him, and his name is Sham Lahiri, and which is a tribute to Sam Lowry in Brazil. Yeah. So it's great to see how one little cockroach, which is like the opening of the film, is there's this in a bureaucratic office, one little cockroach drops into a printer, and a name gets mistyped, and how that sets up this whole chain of events, which eventually leads to the death of the person whose name got mistyped, and how the bureaucracy is just covering it all up. I think, yeah, both NH10 and Manorama, if I think about it now, probably had that little thing of like one small incident triggering off larger incidents. One line that really stayed with me is from the climax when Jonathan Pryce's character has just undergone some torture, and there's these two characters looking at him, and they say, "I think we've lost him." And he's just sitting there, he's become a blabbering idiot, and he's just humming the tune, Brazil, the song itself. Just that line and that image just stayed with me.
Time for a short break. When we come back, we have celebrated lyricist, actually blockbuster lyricist, Sameer Anjaan, sharing stories behind his iconic songs. And he has all the flavors, all the emotions in his songs, and there have been such super hits, right from Shah Rukh's the beginning of his career, to Amir, to Salman. Amazing songs. One of my favorites from his pen is बड़ी मुश्किल है खोया मेरा दिल है कोई उसे ढूंढ के लाए ना जाके कहाँ मैं रपट लिखा हूँ कोई बतलाए ना मैं रोऊं या हंसूं करूं मैं क्या करूं. Such was the innocence in his song, and that innocence is left behind somewhere in the 90s. Yes or no? Think about it. We see you after the break. Welcome back to Now Showing. I'm Atika Farooqui. We celebrated Hindi Divas on September 14th earlier this week. And up next, we have one of the most successful lyricists and writers from the 90s, actually of all time, Sameer Anjaan, talking about the evolution of Hindi in film songs, joined by CEO of IPRS, that is Indian Performing Rights Society, Rakesh Nigam. They together talk about royalty for songs and so much more. They talk about all of this with my colleague Vishal Chatkara.
कैसे देखते हैं आप हिंदी भाषा का विकास हिंदी फिल्मों में?
पहले बड़ा लोकल तरह का संगीत होता था और भाषा भी बड़ी लोकल होती थी. शुरू के दिनों में मेरे ख्याल से बहुत ज्यादा पंजाबी राइटर्स थे और कुछ मुस्लिम राइटर्स थे, तो उन्होंने पंजाबी और उर्दू और उन शब्दों का बहुत अच्छा इस्तेमाल किया. उसके बाद फिर एक पीढ़ी आई जिसमें प्रदीप जी, इंदिवर जी, मेरे स्वर्गीय पिता अंजान जी, भरत व्यास, इन लोगों ने कोशिश की, नीरज जी, संतोषानंद, कि हिंदी को ज्यादा से ज्यादा इस्तेमाल किया जाए. तो धीरे धीरे भाषा थोड़ी मिक्स होती गई. उसके बाद जब हमारी पीढ़ी जहां से शुरू हुई, वहां से मैंने महसूस किया कि ये भाषा का खिचड़ीकरण हो गया, क्योंकि जो आने वाली पीढ़ी थी वो इंग्लिश भी बोलती थी, हिंदी भी बोलती थी, उर्दू भी बोलती थी, और कभी कभी वो पंजाबी वर्ड इस्तेमाल कर लें, कभी कभी थोड़े मराठी, गुजराती. तो धीरे धीरे मुझे हिंदी कहीं लुप्त होती दिखाई दे रही है, और उसका कारण ये है कि ये आने वाली पीढ़ी जो कॉन्वेंट स्कूल से पढ़ के आई है, उसको हिंदी की उतनी अच्छी नॉलेज नहीं है.
राकेश जी, आपको मैं बधाई देना चाहूंगा आपके प्रयासों के लिए, जो आपने बीड़ा उठाया है. हाल ही में विज्ञापन फिल्मों में जो जिंगल होते हैं, उन गीतकारों को रॉयल्टी उपलब्ध कराने के लिए.
अब तक तो सिर्फ गानों के लिए जो बनते हैं ना, अगर उन्होंने कोई पुराने गाने इस्तेमाल किए, इनामीना डी का है या आज फिर जीने की तमन्ना अगर किसी एडवर्टाइजमेंट में यूज किया गया तो उनको अभी देते हैं. लॉ ये नहीं कहता कि सिर्फ गानों के लिए रॉयल्टी देनी पड़ती, क्योंकि अगर आपने खुद ही क्रिएट किया, जैसा समीर जी ने कहा ना कि डर के आगे जीत है, या सनशाइन वाली धूप वाली आशा जो प्रसून जोशी ने लिखा है, उनके लिए भी है. ये सबके लिए क्रिएटिविटी है और इनके लिए भी आपको रॉयल्टी देनी पड़ेगी.
चलिए, हिंदी दिवस के मौके पे मैं गुजारिश करना चाहूंगा समीर जी से, क्या आप हमारे दर्शकों के साथ कोई ऐसी कहानी साझा करना चाहेंगे जिसे आपने आज से पहले कभी किसी से नहीं कहा?
मैं बचपन से आनंद बख्शी साहब का एक गाना सुनता था, साजन साजन पुकारूं गलियों में। मेरा एक कभी सपना था या मेरे मन में एक इच्छा थी कि अगर मैं कभी गीतकार बना और मुझे कभी साजन नाम की कोई पिक्चर मिली तो उसमें मैं ऐसा कोई गाना लिखना चाहूँ। अभी साजन फिल्म बनी और इसका काम शुरू हो गया, गाने इसके रिकॉर्ड होने लगे, मगर फिल्म में कोई सिचुएशन ऐसी नहीं बन रही थी जिसमें मैं साजन साजन या उस तरह का कोई गाना, पूरा साजन के ऊपर कोई गाना लिख पाऊँ। तो मैंने नदीम भाई को बोला कि यार एक मुखड़ा मेरे दिमाग में आया नदीम भाई, मैं सोचता हूँ कि देखिए आपको कैसा लगता है। तो मैंने वो मुखड़ा उनको सुनाया कि देखा है पहली बार साजन की आंखों में प्यार। और वहीं बैठे बैठे उन्होंने श्रवण को एक बात कही कि तुम एक धुन बजाओ। और वो धुन क्या थी, टन टना डिंग डिंग टना डिंग डिंग टना डिंग, वो करते रहो। और उन्होंने वो गाना वहीं का वहीं बना लिया। उन्होंने कहा कि यार एक काम करते हैं, अभी फिल्म के प्रोड्यूसर को मैं फोन लगाता हूँ। उन्होंने फोन लगाया, उन्होंने कहा कि सर ये गाना हमने साजन के लिए बनाया है। उन्होंने कहा भाई तुम लोग पागल हो गए हो, मेरी पिक्चर की रिलीज की डेट फिक्स हो गई है, अब मैं कब गाना करूंगा, और ये सलमान और माधुरी की डेट मिलना इम्पॉसिबल है। सलमान और माधुरी आए, उन्होंने गाना सुना, उन्होंने बोला कल की कल डेट बुक करो, फ्लाइट बुक करो, हम ऊटी जाएंगे और गाना शूट करके आएंगे। और इस तरह से वो गाना फिल्म में हुआ एंड दैट सॉन्ग बिकम अ हिस्ट्री।
So on this weekend, I attended a concert where Adnan Sami performed live in Mumbai for 4 hours in this huge dome produced by the Moranis. This was one fabulous night. Sameer Saab was incidentally present there too, and Adnan Saab said hi to him from the audience. And Adnan sang some great songs like Dila Gila Gila Dil Gila Gila and Salame Ishq Ishq Ishq, and of course Lift Kara De Na 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 Lift Kara De. You know, this concert experience is one must-have experience in your to-do list. So I seriously suggest and strongly recommend that you do keep going to these concerts for that live feel, right? Anyway, with this I say goodbye with the entire team's bye to you. We meet each other next week. Till then, take care.